I mean, it's just devastation for Buffalo again. It's complete heartbreak. 5 straight years in the playoffs, 3 straight losses in the divisional round. The teams to knock them out have gone Texans, Chiefs, Bengals, Chiefs. There's a big problem when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC for the Buffalo Bills. They just can't get over that hump. In the regular season they can, but in the playoffs, something happens and it just doesn't go their way. I mean, these are great games. These are all-time games, but they can't get it done. And Josh Allen was asked if he felt the Bills' title window is closed. Now, if we were a higher budget show right now, we would have a clip of Josh Allen saying this quote right here, but I'll read it instead. "No, not at all. I believe in what we've got here and the people that are in charge. I believe in myself, and that will never change." Now, this season, when you look back on for Buffalo, they made the flip from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady in the middle of the season. And then they wound up winning 5 straight games to go to the playoffs, won a playoff game. So it was a great turnaround for Buffalo. But when you look at this window, and we always talk about the championship window, is it closing now? Or as long as Josh Allen's there, is it open?
I think here's how I would put it. A championship window for the Bills is close to closing. I mean, here's just how things are going to go with this team. They went all in on this year. They're projected $44 million over the cap next year. They're going to have to restructure a lot of older guys. Like, next year will sort of be the last year, I think. Stephon Diggs will probably want out at the end of next year. Von Miller had a really rough season. They're going to have to move off his contract soon. Like, the early career Josh Windows Super Bowl window, I think, is just about closed, and it might close next year.
Okay.
But as long as you have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, which the Bills do, you can always compete. They're going to be a competitive team throughout this. They just need a few draft picks to go their way. We've seen teams be over-leveraged before. Teams, I think like the 2017 Saints, this year's Rams. If you can get a few hits later in the draft of quality producers, you can get out of those holes very, very quickly and suddenly have a competitive team. And if the Rams can do it with Matthew Stafford, the Bills can do it even better with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried long-term about I'm not worried long-term about their ability to compete. They're a very good team. People are saying like Josh Allen's never going to win a Super Bowl. It's super weird.
You can't say that right now. What is he? He's 20. He's 27 right now.
Yeah, no, he's 27. They've got him locked down for a long time, but I'm not expecting next year is going to be a tricky year to navigate. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl of the Bills. I'd be surprised to see Von Miller win a Super Bowl of the Bills.
Yeah, I think you said it nicely in that you might start to see the changing of the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl chances where, I always kind of viewed it when in college, you're a freshman, a sophomore. Those are two years of college that are very different from when you're a junior and a senior. Different people, you have a different social life. Everything's different about the first 2 years and the second 2 years. It's like 2 different experiences. So we're probably in that process now. Not yet, but starting to switch into the second phase of Josh Allen's Super Bowl window, which will, like you said, will always be open as long as he is a top 3 elite quarterback. It's just maybe this year we saw the largest the window has ever been open. And now it's starting like that first window, and it's starting to shut a little bit here. And you're right. You mentioned the age. The ages are Von Miller's 34, Diggs is 30, Micah Hyde 33, Jordan Poyer 32, Tre'Davious White 29, coming off 2 out of 3 years with season-ending injuries. Gabe Davis probably gone. Salary cap $44 million over. The great AFC teams and the great quarterbacks. There is a lot standing in the way of a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl run, but in the playoffs, when it comes down to it, you're going to take Josh Allen over 30, maybe 31 other quarterbacks. So the window has to be open. I'm with you there.
I mean, you know what I think this reminds me a lot of is John Elway with the Broncos. There were so many good years when Elway was of the Broncos, but it took him 15 years to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's still 27. We're not talking about a 33-year-old Josh Allen. Yeah,
like for all we know, Josh Allen in 10 years might still be a very good, a Super Bowl quality quarterback.
Look, for all we know, next year these guys come back and have one more magical run. I wouldn't put it past the Bills to win the Super Bowl even next season. It's just, this was a chance to host the Chiefs, and then you get the Ravens. Some people might say the 13-second year was their best chance with the way they were playing had they beaten Kansas City.
Yeah. And I
It's
mean,
tough.
here's the thing: is people keep saying like this shows the Bills are cursed. Josh Allen is choking. He can't win the playoffs. Whatever. The the Bills have just had the unfortunate luck of whenever they've been really good, they've had to run into Patrick Mahomes playing his best football. And I know people say like Joe Burrow has been able to beat the Chiefs. He's been able to get it done. Patrick Mahomes did not play nearly as well in those games as Patrick Mahomes has played against Josh Allen, the Bills. And part of that is the defense, obviously. The Chiefs defense, or excuse me, the Bengals defense was able to generate some big plays. The Bills defense wasn't. But some of that's just luck. The Bills have had awful luck the way they've had to go against the Chiefs at every moment. And eventually, I really believe that's going to give.
They need a reload. That's what Buffalo needs. They need to reload, get some younger, aggressive pass rushers, get some more receivers to come in. And now we're talking about a Bills team that is, back
I'll
in
just say this
conversation.
I think the Bills are going to imitate what the Chiefs have done. The Chiefs, when they were up against the cap bowl, when it looked like things were tough, they traded some expensive players. They tried to get under the cap and invested tons of draft capital on the defense to get an elite, young, cheap defense. That's what the Bills will have to do, and I think that's what they're going to start doing this offseason.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her. At the same time, while I am not laughing, but there's always a little chuckle when, or at least a little smile when a team that's never won a Super Bowl is finally knocked out. I feel pretty bad for my friends who are Bills fans because I know that pain, and it absolutely sucks. It's you start to wonder, are we ever going to do this? So we'll talk a lot more about the Chiefs late in the second show coming out this week. I figured this would be a good time, to wrap up the pages on the Packers, on the Bills, before we look ahead to the rest of the conference championship games. There's a special feeling around the conference championship games to me that it's different from wild card divisional round. You're still kind of just getting into it. This is when it gets serious, and then you start thinking, okay, the lights are a little bit brighter, games feel a whole lot bigger. And then, you have a shot to go to the Super Bowl here, which is a whole nother animal within itself. But as we look forward to that, we'll be back. We'll have a lot more content coming out. Ziggy and I will have probably a few videos, even on just random topics this week. Russell
and if
Wilson,
you got any random topics.
Yeah. If you have random topics you want to see us talk about, please leave it in the comment section. I keep seeing Russell Wilson to the Vikings rumors, so we might.
We're going to talk about that. We'll have a conversation.
Yeah, I have some strong opinions on that. Very strong opinions. So we'll get a lot more content out, and hopefully Jack will be back with us later this week. For Paul, for Robert, Ziggy, Ziegler, and producer Zach, we will see you soon.